What's going on with Elon Musk and Twitter? April 7, 2022. At this point, you're probably well aware of the fact that Tesla and SpaceX CEO Elon Musk bought a huge stake in Twitter. This came after he was tweeting about the social media network, free speech, and the potential for creating his own platform. Now, Musk is going to be on the Twitter board. And while some people appear to be excited, others seem scared. To be clear, we have no idea what Musk plans to do regarding the future of Twitter. With that said, we aren't ready to form an opinion. Until some obvious changes to the social media platform appear, it honestly doesn't make much sense to take sides. At this point, it's going to be a waiting game to see when and if anything major comes out of Musk's appointment to the Twitter board. Musk's stake in Twitter was at 9.2% when the news first came out. The stake was worth some $3 billion at the time of Musk's share purchase. However, the stake is still considered passive. Musk doesn't own Twitter by any means. Moreover, he's just one of a group of board members. So while his opinion will be considered, he's not in charge. Nonetheless, Wedbush analyst Dan Ives shared on Yahoo Finance that Musk will have an active role at Twitter in the near future. He also believes Musk will increase his stake. Ives said this is just the appetizer. Ultimately, we believe he will have an active stake over the coming weeks or month. This is just a start. I think he will have a broader strategic focus on Twitter. Whether it's changing the slate, changing the management team, or ultimately a buyout. Just to be clear, this is just a start of what I believe is going to be a much more active role for Musk at Twitter. Ives' comment came ahead of more details about Musk's new role on the Twitter board. When Musk was asked to join the Twitter board, a rule was instated that he can't have a stake in Twitter that exceeds 14.9% while serving on the board. So, people who may be worried that Musk is going to take over Twitter or buy Twitter outright can probably relax a bit. At least for now, according to the agreement, for so long as Mr. Musk is serving on the board and for 90 days thereafter. Mr. Musk will not, either alone or as a member of a group, become the beneficial owner of more than 14.9% of the company's common stock outstanding at such time, including for these purposes economic exposure through derivative securities, swaps, or hedging transactions. Obviously, there's no stopping Musk from resigning from the board and buying Twitter. But it would be a monumental expense. In order to do so, he'd have to sell loads of Tesla stock. Not to mention, Musk is running many companies. And Tesla's plate is exceedingly full. Taking on Twitter as his own would be a tough task, and it would likely impact his other companies significantly. It's also important to note that current Twitter CEO Parag Agrawal, as well as co-founder and former CEO Jack Dorsey, have both officially endorsed Musk. The two are really happy and excited about Musk's future role on the Twitter board. One can only hope that if Musk appeared to be coming on board with ill intentions, these two may feel differently. However, as we previously stated, we have no way of knowing what's in store for Twitter in the future. We do know that Musk has always had a tendency to ask the people what they want. Though, while his list of followers is massive, they aren't an accurate representation of the people. Source reposted and summarized from Stephen Loveday at Inside EV. My take: Elon has something planned. I have no idea what it is though. My guess is to own controlling shares of Twitter at some point. What can we expect at the Cyber Rodeo event? April 7, 2022. The hottest ticket in the world right now is Tesla's Cyber Rodeo event in Austin, Texas. The word that I'm hearing from both Matt Home and Anwarbek Amanbayev, who run the local Tesla club in Austin, is that they're encountering Tesla owners driving in from all over the country. Even crazier, many of these Tesla owners don't even have an invite yet. Apparently, the local permit in Austin for the event allows for a maximum of 15,000 people. That said, we're not sure how big it will be. We'll soon find out. So what can we expect? There's a lot of rumors flying around about Elon Musk teasing some big news surrounding Cybertruck. So what will we hear about Cybertruck? According to a popular reservation tracker in the Tesla community, the Cybertruck has almost 1.4 million reservations right now. Currently, all we know is that the Cybertruck production timeline has been pushed back to next year due to the overwhelming demand for Model Y and Model 3. Musk stated, on the most recent earnings call, that Tesla needs to fill the growing backlog for Model Y and Model 3 before starting production on a new vehicle. Based on the ongoing chip shortage and supply chain issues, This strategy certainly seems to make sense. It's the responsible thing to do. Nevertheless, there's a chance we'll see the production version of Cybertruck for the very first time at the Cyber Rodeo. Instead of another prototype, we also may get more visibility into when Tesla will start its production. There's already been some sightings of Cybertruck and Tesla's Semi at Giga Austin. So it's likely they'll be displayed prominently at the event. In addition, there's a chance Tesla will showcase the first Model Y vehicles that are made with the company's new Fort 680 batteries. Although these Model Ys look the same on the outside, under the skin there are major differences, including a new structural battery pack that adds rigidity and makes the car even safer. In addition, we may get a closer look at Austin's Gigapress, which should make the Model Y far easier and faster to produce. Source reposted and summarized from Matt Pressman at EvanX. My take: Hey Elon, I never received my invite. It's not too late. I can still make the trip. Toyota adopts Tesla's camera-only approach to self-driving. April 7, 2022. Toyota subsidiary Woven Planet will utilize a camera-only approach for its self-driving project development. Joining Tesla is the only other company to adopt a vision-based strategy to advance itself in the race to autonomous driving. Woven Planet said it can use low-cost cameras to collect data and train its self-driving system utilizing a neural network. Much like Tesla, the breakthrough technology could help drive down costs and scale the company's self-driving efforts. The company said to Reuters, "Collecting data with self-driving cars through cameras is a reliable and accurate way to determine the advantages and shortcomings of a system." Tesla has used this strategy with its vehicles to develop a wide array of data to improve the performance of its autopilot and full self-driving suites. Woven Planet wants to take the same approach. But it is costly and not scalable when the vehicles are outfitted with expensive sensors. We need a lot of data. And it's not sufficient to just have a small amount of data that can be collected from a small fleet of very expensive autonomous vehicles. Michael Benish, VP of Engineering at Woven Planet, said in the report, "Rather, we're trying to demonstrate that we can unlock the advantage that Toyota and a large automaker would have, which is access to a huge corpus of data, but with a much lower fidelity. Woven Planet's cameras will be 90% less expensive than the sensors it previously used. And installation is easy, which could make scaling the project relatively easy. Tesla has always taken the approach that cameras are essentially the camera's eyes. And radar or LiDAR equipment is not necessarily crucial in developing a successful self-driving system." Musk once said LiDAR was a crutch, and last year, during an earnings call, said Tesla would benefit from a camera-only approach for self-driving. When your vision works, it works better than the best human because it's like having 8 cameras. It's like having eyes in the back of your head, beside your head, and has 3 eyes of different focal distances looking forward. This is, and processing it at a speed that is superhuman. There's no question in my mind that with a pure vision solution, we can make a car that is dramatically safer than the average person. Musk said during the call, Toyota still plans to use sensors like LiDAR or other radar systems for robotaxis and autonomous vehicle projects. Benish clarified, "It is the best, safest approach to developing robotaxis." The report said, "It's entirely possible that camera-type technology can catch up and overtake some of the more advanced sensors." Benish added, source reposted and summarized from Joey Klender at Tesla RT. "My take: I guess Toyota thinks that Elon must be onto something and that they had better hedge their bets." Bank of America raises price target on Tesla to $1,300. April 7, 2022. Bank of America has raised its price target on Tesla to $1,300 per share from $1,100. Meanwhile, the firm is cutting its price targets for General Motors and Rivian. Bank of America analyst John Murphy revised the company's auto industry report to reflect the latest updates and trends. Despite the cut to our volume forecasts more significant in 2022E, but also modest for 2023 to 2025E. We continue to believe that the near-term volume pressure is setting up for a more robust capital goods replacement cycle over the mid-long term. Additionally, our assessment of stock cycle timing: stocks peak trough 12-18 months before volume peak trough remains favorable. More specifically, our expected peak around 2025 should be set up for a broad-based constructive trade on the group to persist into 2022 to 2023. Although we expect stocks may remain volatile over the next few months. Murphy explained in a client note. The analyst raised his price target for Tesla to $1,300 per share from $1,100. In addition, he raised Ford's price target to $32 from $30 to reflect updated estimates. In parallel, Murphy cut General Motors' price targets to $95 from $100. Fisker's to $18 from $23, and Rivian's to $100 from $140. Source reposted and summarized from Eva Fox at Tasmanian. My take: I think this is a bit of a lowball. As soon as the date for the stock split is confirmed, investors are going to lose their minds. Then again, when Tesla gets included on the Dow Jones Index. My price target for Tesla in the next 12 months is $3,000, assuming the macro environment allows it, of course.